Hey guys, Daniel Gorley here from Five Words Media, and I am super excited to hang here today with
Jonathan Wright from Hope Church.
Jeremy Van Valkenburg from Worship Leader Props.
Nice, and on remote from a location to be disclosed is Brian Tabor.
Brian Tabor from Worship Leader Props.
That's right. Guys, look at that recess lighting.
It's
Doesn't
ballin'.
it just, it's
Majestic. That's what it is.
there's recess lighting and then there's recess lighting.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the stuff.
Guys, there are, I think, more than 3 recess lights in this basement.
Brian, how many kelvins are those?
74.
On the Hobbs scale.
74.
74. All right, perfect. Well, we won't want to dig into that. That's not the purpose of this
No,
video.
not today.
All right. So we were also wonderfully joined by Tod Musgrave from Marshall Cameras. How you doing, Todd?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Nice. And Todd, we first off want to just, there's a lot of joking, there's a lot of hilarity,
Yeah.
but we are 100% serious. We want to thank you
Oh, yeah.
personally
Yes.
for what you
Absolutely.
guys have done
Thank you, man.
for Hope Church in Danville, Virginia. We started this contest as a way to bless a church. We put it out there. We had 570 something churches that entered, and
Wow.
Jonathan, you guys remember Nancy Kerrigan? He took the pipe to the knee of the other 500 churches, and he won the contest himself.
Wow.
Single-handed.
Again, you've made me to be more violent than I ever was.
I'm sorry, but
here we
you
are.
won. That's all that matters.
That's it.
That's right.
I'm very
Winner,
happy with
winner.
the outcome.
No, and part of that was obviously we were going to come alongside you guys. The contest was up to $200,000, and we designed a system based on your guys' needs. That was $149,000, and part of that was these amazing cameras from Todd at Marshall Cameras.
absolutely.
So we have on site the CV506 cameras. Allie's going to throw a picture of this guy. Look at
There
that.
it is.
Wow.
It looks so much bigger on the screen.
Yeah.
It is bigger actually on
It
our
is.
screen right now
I know.
than it is in real life.
This is a miniature camera. Oh,
Do we have an award?
Todd's got gifts here. Let's
Well,
show
I was
Todd
going
up
to show
on
you.
screen.
We got an award of excellence on the 506.
Oh, that's
Oh.
fantastic.
Maybe
Oh,
2020.
come on.
Brian Tabor had the recessed lights.
Woo.
Todd, you
Whoa.
drop an award?
Right.
Oh, look at that
Look
full
at
screen.
it.
Oh,
Nice.
Trophy
Look
time,
at
that.
baby.
Look at that.
And that's by a legitimate organization.
Yeah, production hub for NAB 2020. Obviously, we didn't go there, but
Right.
we're
Well, no one
remotely
was at
accepting.
NAB 2020 this year. So.
That's it. So
Wow.
I got it. I was notified, but I got it. I shut my door and put on background applause. So at least
That's
good.
amazing.
There you go.
So, guys, I just want to point this out. This is an award-winning venue
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
with an award-winning
Camera
camera
There we
system.
go.
That is,
We're gonna put it on the sign.
and you're an
Yeah,
award winner.
gives me chills, man.
Oh,
It's
Wow.
like triple tag, man. This is great.
there you go.
So, Brian, how do you feel? How do you like them apples?
I'm intimidated. Those are some macho head games right out of the gate.
Oh,
I mean, dropping trophies. This is award-winning stuff here, man.
yeah, this is good. This is good. Well, I'm glad that Todd put you in your place, Brian. So hopefully we'll have better behavior. Well, guys, this is great. So, Todd, the CV506, we've been using for the longest time as a company the 503, which the 506 is the replacement for it, correct?
So no, the 503 and the 506. The only difference between those two is that the 506 also has an HDMI output,
Got
right?
it,
So
got it.
the 503 is the same sensor, same camera, just
Right.
with the 3G SDI output. The previous generations were 502 and the 505. So we
Right,
we
right.
really made a big improvement on this new sensor. It's better not only in low light for candlelight type visuals, but very good in dynamic environments where you have very bright or dark areas, that kind of thing, and a slightly larger sensor. So we're very
Yeah,
happy.
the church
with the
world
improvement.
dynamic is the key phrase because
Yeah.
it's like you have sometimes a worship tune where the lights are out and everything's totally dark and super dark, and that low light comes into play. And then sometimes we have especially with video broadcasts, a ton of light on the stage, and the camera looks beautiful back on the multi-view we have in the switcher.
It really does.
So the cool thing for us, again, we want to give you something that's good, Jonathan, but as an integrator, the reason we love the 506 is that extra HDMI output, because a lot of times we'll do it SDI infrastructure, but we'll still plug into the HDMI with our local monitor. We'll use that to set settings on the camera.
That's great.
Because we can dial in stuff, and then we'll unplug and we'll leave it behind, which is very cool. So
yeah, one of the big advantages of our little POV guys is the interchangeable lens capability, right? So to be able to change the angle of view, is and that flexibility, and it's a prime lens, so there's no depth of field concern, right? So everything near contact to infinity is in focus. Right. But yeah, that HDMI is nice. So a field monitor, as you maybe install a new lens and you dial in focus just right, so they are simultaneous outputs, so you can use them any way you like.
Same time. And that's the cool thing, that interchangeable lens system. So what we'll end up doing a lot is we'll do like a man camera like we did here, because I don't care how nailed down your pastor is. Yeah. My pastor, he's a walker. Oh man. He walks everywhere. Even if we don't light that part of the stage, he'll still walk out there. He'll deliver the most hell's brimstone fire and sermon and stuff in complete darkness. Walk to the back of the room. Yeah, exactly. So having a man camera is clutch and huge. And then usually sometimes we'll do a PTZ camera. These guys make amazing PTZ cameras, but we'll use these point of view cameras peppered around stage. And if you have a lens kit, you can literally just hot swap these lenses, because it kind of comes like a GoPro. It comes super wide, almost fisheye kind of field of view. So the lens kits are awesome, and they're cheap. The C-mount lenses are not that expensive. I think a lens pack's is it like $150 or something like that, Todd?
Yeah, and you get like an assortment of six
or seven lenses.
With anywhere from our widest all the way out to 12 millimeter, which is probably the most I would use on that size camera. Obviously, the longer focal length you get, the more influence to vibration you have and movement. Right. So we have larger format cameras for those types of things, but.
So these are the two cameras. We have them, Todd. They're installed up on the side here, and they disappear. They really aren't this giant.
Dude,
we had to
crazy.
Point them out.
Yeah, like when the lights go down for worship, nobody would even have a clue that they're there, and I love that about them.
Absolutely. I even had someone I know walk in, and they were like, "So where are the cameras for the live stream setup? Have they not done it yet?" And I was like, "They're both right there."
Right.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What?
What?" Yeah. So we got the outlet. One, beautiful little manned camera on the back, and then we have these two side cameras that give them a mix of shots. And for this church, it's like the booth's not super huge. There's a few volunteers back there, and it gives them just enough flexibility that they can switch back and forth between different views.
Awesome.
And have you seen, Todd, what they were working with?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes.
I'm so excited for Todd right now.
Todd.
Yes.
He says he's excited for you. I'm like, I'm not so sure.
No. This could go up on the wall at Marshall.
All right. So I'm going to show you this. You won an award for your camera. Jonathan won a Darwin Award for this camera.
Wow.
This may look like a microphone, but this is a very popular streaming webcam-y thing.
Wow.
Not to name names. And then this is a USB hanging down to a USB to RCA adapter. And this is a wireless transmitter. The reason for this is the field of view and the zoom on this you can't do anything with. So poor little cherub Jonathan had to charge this guy and then move this. Was this just freestanding in the seats? What was this?
It was freestanding. That was the thing, is it was because you had to be so close with this camera. I was like, how am I going to run any sort of sound to it?
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to try to make this entire thing work wireless.
The trouble is, you put this right next to an old lady, they're going to think this is an IV bag.
That's true. They're going to hold on to it.
This is it's not very pretty. So thank you, Todd.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, incredible. Man.
We also have a lipstick.
Feel good about today.
We also have a little lipstick camera, actually. That, same sensor, a little bit smaller, and you can hide even in more places. So
Yeah, so they have your lipstick camera. I've seen a couple of places it's used. So you guys use that at, like Disney and like sports and things like. I saw you used it at UFC, right?
in UFC. But what's funny is anywhere from at Disney World, the floats that go around, and in the parade, they'll put two of them on each corner and look at the monitor to steer the vehicle. But we also we put these things in tracks for NASCAR, for Formula One racing, anywhere. It's not a big deal to run into a $500 camera and break it. The shot you get from it is priceless, right?
Yeah, it's a crash cam.
But so it's just a little bit smaller. I wish I had one here I could show you.
So, Todd, real quick though, I mean, those things, I think they're IP65, right? They're weatherproof.
Yeah, so IP67, I believe.
Okay.
Are those the cameras that are in the pylons?
Yes.
For the NFL?
Yes.
Well, no,
the guys.
So the pylons are the CV503 weatherproof version.
Okay, the weatherized
gotcha.
ones.
So it's the same camera, and for the last 4 years they had 3 or 4 in each pylon.
The lipstick ones, they're literally like a size of a piece of chapstick kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Which Brian loves chapstick, so that's a good deal there, good connection point. So
at NAB,
but I want to explore this for a moment. You could get Pastor Brian. You know how you're micing him up?
Oh yeah.
You can cam him up.
There we go.
It's weatherproof. I don't know if your pastor gets under the lights and sweats or anything, like you could strap that to him, and it's like pastor vision.
Maybe put it on his wrist, right here. As he moves.
We're joking about it, but someone's gonna do it.
100%, yeah.
So we had somebody in live concert application where they had the microphone. They had the little lipstick kind of on top of it.
Okay, yeah.
So it almost looked like another microphone, but it was a camera, So it was, and quite a bit. And
Brian's sketching. Brian's sketching ideas.
He's writing all of this down.
Right? Come on, I'm ready.
Pastor Chris, man, you get that pastor cam.
Absolutely.
You've given him too many ideas.
He's gonna get the bedazzled Sennheiser microphone.
Oh yeah.
And then he's gonna attach a lipstick cam to it.
He's working on something, isn't he?
He is.
That's what he's tooling around with something.
Well, he's sketching ideas on the kitchen cabinets.
That's right.
Well, no, those are really cool. The other thing that we do a ton of is Marshall PTZ cameras. So we've been doing the 620s before it was cool and COVID happened and everybody bought everything that was left over. And then now we're on the 630 cameras, and you guys even have an Ultra HD version. Allie's got a photo she could throw up of these PTZs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got one right there. Look
He's
at
got
that.
the 4K one.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the 4K 60 one.
Nice.
Wow.
So this is has everything, everything you
you
can
need on the
imagine.
back.
So IP 12 GSDI output, obviously, that, depending on what you're using. HDMI. This is really the top of the line for us, and it's an 8 megapixel sensor.
Yep.
I think we have 1/1.7 inch size, so
Nice.
Wow.
it's getting up there, and
That's
people
getting
are
almost full size. I mean, that's getting
Yeah.
really
So
big
close.
up there for focusing. Because that's a lot of the criticisms we'll get sometimes for PTZ cameras is like, okay, I'm paying all this money for motors, but the sensors on the 630s and that camera especially are really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And they're very affordable. So the IP piece that's on there is important because we use Marshall controllers for stuff. We'll also use another company that does like third-party control across the board. So Todd, we've had it in our shop. We've had a mock-up on a bench, and the guys have been working with it. And I don't know if they've called you about it, but we've got one PTZ controller that's controlling Marshall PTZ cameras. And then it's also controlling Marshall 506 cameras through RS485, all from the same controller.
That's cool.
Really cool.
wow.
That's awesome.
So like the iris knob is the same iris knob for either camera. It just depends on what camera number you're on.
That's
Brian,
not
right next to the Blink
this-
182.
Is that the Scarhoy controller?
Scarwood, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we see those guys at trade shows all the time.
Yeah.
And we
But
send
it's
them
just cool because you guys have opened up your IP technology and your APIs are solid. Your cameras are really good. and
Yeah.
we're able to control them, zoom them, do them from a bunch of different things. And then they do have their own controllers that are really excellent for their stuff. So
we spend a lot of time working with a lot of different people that we meet at places like NAB show and IBC, but we want our stuff to be compatible with a wide range of things, because there's nothing worse than closing the integratable features of the camera, right? So we use common Visca command, Visca over IP. We also do OnVIF. We also do NDI cameras if that's what you're working with. So we're very open source. People ask for our commands all the time. We provide them.
Right.
A lot of it's downloadable from our website. So we want to be as flexible in the workflow as we can be.
And Brian, that was Visca, not Visco.
Gotcha. Okay,
Visca.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Whole different
Careful,
meaning.
because there's a lot
Whole
of different
different meaning.
variations out there.
No, it's really, really good. And the funny thing is like we're talking about Marshall cameras, but the origin of Marshall was LCD displays and rack mountable, and we still use those all day long. But a lot of the camera stuff, when we put it in front of people, they're like, "Wow, this looks amazing."
Well, talk a little bit, Daniel, because one of the things that I love is like as I went back and looked at the switcher.
Yeah.
Color-wise, everything is matching up. Like, what's the kind of the process that you can go? Because I think people might be afraid.
Right.
Well, if I got this, I got this JVC 4K camera.
Right.
Am I going to be able to match the colors and is it going to look? So, talk a little bit about that.
So these, they're small, but they're mighty. Like literally inside, these are truly broadcast cameras. So, Todd, you'll help me out, but we've got automatic gain, right? We have irises on the cameras. We can do a white balance. We can do a warm and blue tint, just like you would get on a broadcast controller. Wow. There's night modes and dark modes. Like, there's a whole bunch that's built into these guys, and the sky's the limit as far as how you can pre-configure them. And we're talking about like third-party controllers, but even since the very first one of these, they have their own controller where you can remote control individual cameras through that little remote box.
Well, the first challenge was we had that remote adjustability where you can get into the menu, right?
Yeah.
Well, when there's a bunch of cameras on stage and you got to use it for your go-to shot because the guy's diving into the end zone, right, or something like that. It takes a lot of time to get into the menu, and manipulate. We need to manipulate. So on the 502s, we added the feature of those manual white balance, manual black levels, manual blue-red, like he was talking about, white clip, all the things that you would get in a broadcast camera, you can now control without the menu coming up, right? And so you can see it side by side, your big beauty camera, because you will have your big beauty cameras throughout, and you got to get similar looks. So, we added that feature, and to be honest, with that interchangeable lenses, the flexibility of being controlled not only by our RCP but others, we've gotten a lot of mileage that way. And again, House of Worship and church production is one of our top markets, right? Wow. And it's funny because I usually hear more about the sports applications like the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and I only get a little bit of insight into the church production stuff. So.
Well, church is the same thing. It's a live event where things are going to happen. And so I'll give you an example. Like on the camera, you can set an iris limit. Okay.
Really?
So you can, just like you can on a DSLR, you can set certain priorities and things like that. So you can hard set the gain. You can go on the iris, go all the way up till it blows out, back it off a little bit, set that as the limit, and then it will auto iris.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
if you end up with a situation where, worship leader with the hair, is doing a little thing in a spotlight and all the lights darken out, the iris
That's
will
offensive.
open up, but it won't. Sorry, Brian. Sorry.
He's off the rails now.
Know your audience, right, Brian? Know your audience. Okay. So that very distinguished worship pastor is delivering a heartfelt rendition of the song. Yeah, that's good. When the lights all go low, that iris will open up. It won't open up too high. It won't hit that limit you set.
That's super cool.
And then when it goes, lights banging and whatnot, it'll actually iris down so it's not blowing out. So those are little things, and that's built in those cameras for the last 5-6 years or whatnot. So it's just most people don't really dig into the details on it. So
and the autos are very good, like you said, but when you're matching cameras, having that manual capability is obviously essential. So
yeah. So where's Marshall going? Because I know Todd, like broadcast and COVID had to just hit you guys. We started ordering stuff, and then we started seeing back orders and craziness, and there's new cameras coming out. Is this just like the Wild West for you guys? You got a lot going on?
Honestly, it's crazy, because, you're right. The broadcasting stuff, we're located in Los Angeles area. So although a lot of our stuff's also done in Canada and New York, as far as broadcast goes, right? So, however, it just flipped to streaming, remote collaboration,
right.
video conferencing like we're doing now. So our Pro AV, complete flipped on us, right?
Right.
But it's okay because our cameras have HDMI outputs as well as 3G SDI outputs. We have a lot of IP solutions.
I have to interrupt you. Man, I forgot about this. That camera comes in a USB.
Yes.
Oh.
So if you do, so all these pastors been home zooming on their like really bad Logitech, like cameras, looks awful. There you have a USB version of that camera. Same thing. You can dial it in as a worship dude, get it all set. It has a mount that like clips on their like computer.
Man.
Yeah, it's good, and you can swap the lenses.
I'm gonna
off.
need a quote from 5-Word on that, please.
No, it's cool, man. It's very, very cool. No, they have some really great products for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like you said, the mini stuff, the USB stuff, the IP stuff, or you can stream directly to Facebook or YouTube Live. The ease of use with IP is very nice, and people that wanted to spread the word, obviously not being able to have congregation. So believe it or not, our best month was last month, and I'm talking about double what we previously did in record. So we'll see the broadcast stuff come back, but everything else has been so crazy, and it's not just the demand for PTZ cameras for remote worship, if you will, but it's also our factories are working with more care, more social distancing. There's fewer flights coming in. Everything is delayed. So when the demand skyrocketed, and at first it was the distributors, right? They said, "Oh God, we're not going to be able to get cameras for 3 months, right? So we're going to bring in a lot." That cleaned us out. So then we have to go to our supply chain.
Well, we tried to be proactive and we ordered a bunch of cameras, and then we can give you 2. And we're like, okay, this will do half a church right now.
I promise you, it's getting better now.
It is getting better. Yeah.
So we're throughout the month of August, and we're near the end of the month of July.
Right.
We'll have those 630 shipping. We're going to start getting some of the 730s, which is the big, massive guy. So, and we're going to catch up with the 620s. So
very cool.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel there with supply, as far as supply goes. So, however, all the POV stuff we've been able to, because we carry those in deep inventory because they're bought in large number, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it's a very affordable way of adding production value to the
all right,
event.
I gotta put you on the spot, Todd. So there's one camera that it was introduced and then it didn't happen, and then a replacement was coming. So where's this monster box cam? This guy, it was the Nighthawk, but then that went away.
The box camera.
You had a box cam, like a super speed box cam with a larger. It wasn't a C-mount lens. Am I misthinking?
Was it a zoom block?
Yeah. Like I'm thinking old school Panasonic box cams. Was it not you?
And it wasn't PTZ.
No.
I don't think that was us.
That wasn't you. All right, well then fine.
Then
I'll let you go on that one. Fine.
Yeah, I there's nothing I dislike more than showing something and then letting it fade away.
That wasn't us. We always deliver, Daniel. We're Marshall. How dare you, sir?
We're Marshall.
No, that's awesome. Very cool. Well, if there's one last thing, like say Brian Tabor walked into the Marshall store. Walked into the Marshall store and he had to leave. He had to leave with something, and it wasn't a 506, and it wasn't a 620 or a 630. Like, what is the thing that you think people should pay attention to?
This guy right here, man. This
beauty,
right? We talked about it earlier.
I like where it's headed.
Essentially, this is a 506.
Right.
Hiroshi connector connects to the base, and this small little PT head. So, like you said,
that's a PTZ.
Yeah, so it's a mini PTZ
I
with
wanna
the
put it-
506.
It is. It's so cute. I think Todd
Yeah,
posted a photo
let
of
me
like,
give
in
it
his
to you.
palm.
To the,
Yeah.
you can borrow
Wow.
it.
So there's that
the
guy,
idea-
and it's got a little mini joystick, right?
Yeah, well, we have several joysticks, but the little mini guy is set up like a video game controller with a little thumbstick, which is the most inexpensive one, but very effective. You see it there, yeah.
Oh, so cute.
See, here's the thing. I miss the old school wood podiums because I could already flange mount drop that into like Pastor Howard's or Larry's.
It's quarter-inch 20 on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you can
Wow.
mount
And he would have his own little PTZ, with his own little.
So we get, like you said, the pastor moves, but we get like table interviews for like the Major League Baseball interview table, right? And the guy will be talking, and then he'll slide up. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're done, right? He's off camera because he's going crazy, right? So this allows you to just turn it slightly. It's still a fixed camera, right?
Yeah.
And you still get some digital zoom, but primarily it's a fixed shot. But a big shot, you can adjust just slightly. So
I saw it, and as soon as I saw it, I said, "Okay, I can throw this on little monopod tripod stand, and I can roll it around different stage stuff, and then people can pan and line up their shots." And I'm assuming it's priced very well because it's a little teeny tiny guy or whatnot. So I could see somebody definitely picking that up for their stage setups and looks.
And again, see the fact that you power the base and then it provides power to camera. Right?
Money.
As well as passing commands. So you can still get in and make adjustments from the controller as you would like one of our RCPs or one of our camera control software. Yeah, so we're real excited about that.
Well, Todd, you're awesome, man. Thank you for joining us and hanging out. And again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your camera stuff because what you guys have given has given them a new lease on life. I'm not going to bring the camera thing back out, the Franken camera, because after this, I'm pretty sure it's going to get beat up in the parking lot and thrown in the dumpster. But no, they are just. It's going to look loads better this weekend, and the first stream out of this room is going to look awesome because of you guys.
Can't wait.
So
Thank you guys so much.
Well, thanks so much for bringing us into this stuff. Absolutely. I really enjoy these types of things. We do it for other markets, so we're very blessed to be a part of it. We appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate you for sure. And next up for us, we'll edit and put this all together, and then we'll send it to you before it goes out. And thank you guys. Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks, Brian, for coming and hanging. And Jonathan, thanks for just winning a whole bunch of stuff.
Right?
Oh, you're very welcome.
We're just going to make you
win.
look good.
And thank you guys for the support. I keep seeing you guys doing all kinds of stuff at all kinds of different churches. So
we are. God has blessed us despite all the craziness going on. So
keep up the good work.
And part of it's just because we have great partners. You guys are awesome. So thank you very much, Todd. So
awesome. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
perfect. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
All right, take care.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, Todd.
Good luck.